What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to give my review score predictions for the Medium. So this is Xbox's next big exclusive. Also comes out on PC, okay? So it's on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and PC. So the really, one of, in fact, probably the biggest Xbox exclusives so far. We're kind of kicking it in, right? Hopefully 2021 can be a big year for Xbox exclusives, or at least, motion us closer to what will probably be an even bigger 2022, okay? So for people new to the process here, here's what I do. I predict it based off of Metacritic review scores by critics. Okay, so these are critic review scores that I say, okay, well, what are they going to give this game? I try to predict what they'll say, pros and cons, and I give myself a 4, sometimes I do less, but I give myself a 4-point range of where I think the game will land on Metacritic, okay? Again, important things to remember is I don't go based off of review scores. I suggest you don't. I know a lot of people do. It's completely cool. I get it. I completely get it. I would say make the decision based off of what you see. I can tell you I'm very excited for this game. I've loved everything I've seen from this game up and starting with when they first revealed this game, when they first showed it at that Xbox Game Showcase last May. I was like, you know what? This is probably the standout of the show. And ever since then, any trailer, any gameplay has looked real. It doesn't look maybe the most amazing thing in the world, but it looks very, very solid, and I'm very, very excited for it. So that's a little bit of background on me. Really quickly, besides that, make sure if you guys do like this stuff, you're subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. And if you guys want to follow my Twitter account, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter handle. Would love to have you guys over there. The link for that is in the description below, or of course you can just look me up on Twitter. Again, one more time, PodcastNow, and then the number 15. All right, so normally I go through Metacritic, and then sometimes I talk about sequel games, right? So we can go back and look at games they've done in the past. Now, Bloober team has done stuff in the past, but I'm not necessarily going to look at that stuff. I'm going to take this game kind of unique in its own way. I think this game is... I've talked about safe games before, games that, like, okay, you see everything about them, or you see different aspects of it, like, leading up to release, and nothing really maybe stands out as like overly incredible, but nothing stands out as bad. And you kind of get into like a rhythm or an area where it's like, you know what, I think this game is gonna be like relatively good, like it's kind of safe. And I've said this before, I went into like Crash 4, It's About Time. I went into that game thinking, this is gonna be a very safe game. It's gonna be good. I don't know if it's gonna be amazing, but I don't think it's gonna be bad. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a safe game. It'll get in the mid 8s. Everybody will like it. But again, will they love it? Will they say, it's okay, it's a Crash game? Like, how will they feel? And that's kind of the area. And that's ended up kind of being what Crash 4 was. A lot. Now, actually, it surprised me because actually, to me, I adore that game. I love that game. And there's a couple other games last year I would say kind of fit that. Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales was another one where it's like, this game is probably going to be really good. Will it be the best game ever? That's maybe a little high. Will it be bad? That's a little low, right? It's probably pretty safe, and I think we're going to get a good game out of this. The Medium, I honestly feel like it's the same thing, maybe a little less. I think the Medium is going to be a relatively good game, like overall, from everything we've seen in terms of how the horror works. And I saw, I think IGN did a preview of this over the weekend, or maybe on Friday, this past Friday, where they talked about, this game is scary. It's very, it's Alan Wakey, but if it was a little bit more horror oriented. Now, I played Alan Wake when it first came out. I was, younger back then. I was pretty afraid of Alan Wake. I think Alan Wake was actually kind of a scary-ish game. It wasn't like the most scary game. It wasn't like an Outlast or Outlast 2 kind of game, right? But it was a creepy kind, they messed with different kind of stuff in Alan Wake that I think did really, by the way, I want Alan Wake 2. But I really think this game can pull it off. And so remember, this is a kind of like a psychological game that the gameplay is more built on really sometimes two things happening at the same time. And so they're really gonna, here's the thing, it's really gonna push, I think, the next gen technology. So I don't have a Series X or S as of right now. I'm definitely not going to get it just for the Medium. I'm probably going to play this game on PC. If I do get this game, okay, which I do hope to get, I hope to play it on PC. Okay, now hopefully my PC can handle it. But the thing with this game is it is only a next-gen game. It's really the first Xbox game that is doing that. Remember, Phil Spencer had said that any exclusive to Xbox would be available on all Xbox consoles, but then he specified or clarified later that he meant games made by them, not games in general, games made by Xbox Studios. the medium is not made by an Xbox studio, therefore they can pick if they wanted it or not, okay? And they chose, no, it's only going to be available on next gen. So you can only play this game if you have a Series X or S. If you have an Xbox One, Xbox One X, any of those, it will not work, okay? So I do think that's actually going to stop a lot of people from playing the game, and hopefully that doesn't kind of like doom the game. But on the flip side, I do think it's going to kind of be well worth it, right? Where they're going to kind of take advantage of next gen consoles. And to be honest with you, I think that's going to help them. When we talk about review scores, one of the things I think you'll see is maybe things talking about how like this is Xbox's first true exclusive game and how like it actually does it, right? Like it runs really well, it looks really good, all the kind of performance stuff, right? I feel like those are hopefully it doesn't come out it's like a complete disaster on it, but hopefully it comes out and they say, you know what, this is a good sign of what the Xbox consoles can do going forward. Like if you're gonna get Halo Infinite on next gen, this is what it can do, or any of the games, this is what it can do. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's what I hope to see online. Let me say this, I think the review score, and so again, I'm gonna give myself a 4-point range. I'm gonna say an 82 to an 85, somewhere in that range, or an 8.2 to an 8.5 is where I think this game is going to land. Again, like, to get in the high 8s or low 9s, I think it really needs to be something absolutely special where the story just kind of like kicks our butt just in the greatest way possible, you know what I mean? I don't know if it'll do that though. I mean, it does look very, again, like it looks interesting. I'm in love with it. I've been impressed with this game for almost a year, since we saw it almost a year ago. I've been impressed with this game. So I think it has it in it. I want this game to get the highest review score possible. I want this game to be really good. I want this to be kind of, Hitman 3 comes out like a week before this. I want these two games to be the benchmark for 2021 and say, okay, these are my game of the year, mainly because they're the only games I've played, but beat them. These are the games to beat. You know what I mean? I want that for these games, and so I do hope the medium is a really good game. So, again, to be on the higher scale, the gameplay thing, I do think the gameplay hook, like how it is organized, I think it will give it kind of a leg up. It kind of reminds me of Hellblade in a way without being Hellblade. Hellblade's a very different kind of game, but, the way that handled mental health and the way they handled the gameplay aspect, and like she's always talking to you like in your head, that very much gave it a leg up. Like that was a thing that people praised and said, this is a thing that kind of makes the game. So, I'm not saying like this is going to have that exact feature, but the idea of the parallel worlds and how you're doing one thing on one side and something else is happening on the other, I think that could be a hook in this game that really gives an advantage, where it's like, hey, if for nothing else, if the story sucks, if it's a 4-hour-long game, whatever, if it's disappointing, the one reason to play this game is that hook, is that gameplay hook. So that's why I think it can get in the 8s. If it gets in the 7s, okay, like even high, mid, low 7s, somewhere in there, I feel like it's because obviously something's gone wrong, you know what I mean? Or if it gets even lower, if it's in the 6s, if it's in the 5. I don't think it'll be there, by the way. I think in all reality, 7s are possible. I'm not going to say they're not possible, but if you get into like the 6s, I think you have a real problem on your hands, you know what I mean? In order to get down there, I feel like the issue would need to be nothing works. The story is just not, or everything's okay. The story is okay, but it's nothing special. The gameplay, yeah, it's cool for the first hour, but it's nothing special. The game doesn't really go anywhere. The game doesn't really capture your attention. Stuff like that. That's the only way I can see the game getting in the 6s, maybe in the low 7s. And then again, once you get into where, even what I'm saying, 8.2 to 8.5, that means like, everything kind of works. Like it's a really solid game. Nothing maybe is spectacular, or maybe one thing is super spectacular, and then nothing really else is all that fancy. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I think about this game. I don't think it's going to be, the greatest game of all time. I don't think it's going to be the best Xbox exclusive of all time. Maybe it is right now, or maybe it will be because it's the only one, but I don't think it will be going forward. But I definitely am rooting for them. I really am impressed with this game. I really want to play it. And so, as always, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think? What do you think the review score for this game is going to be? Are you looking forward to it? Are you getting it on Xbox? Are you getting it on PC? Let me know. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Again, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter handle. Would love to have you guys over there. We have a lot of fun. Twitter is a very toxic place, but not my community. I really, really love my community. I think we have a lot of fun over there, okay? Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to make more medium videos. The medium videos when the game comes out, hopefully have some post-game coverage on it. We'll see how it goes, but I really hope to cover it more, okay? So I hope to see you guys there.